So we're going to change our countershaft oil seal on our 2007 CRF150F. This is the same from 2006 to 2017 on this model. I'm sure some of those out there are starting to leak. Before we get going, I'll say if you want step-by-step instructions on doing anything on this bike, including what we're going to do, you can subscribe to the manual, of course, at cyclepedia.com. So, to get started, you're going to want to loosen up your drive chain slack, and maybe your chain needs to be clean and you want to just take it off. Either way, so once you get that done, these are already loosened. You're going to take out these little bolts for this retaining plate here. Now, if you've never done this before, you turn this to align the splines on the retaining plate and the shaft. And I'm trying to not stick my head in the camera, so it'll be a little slow. Take that off. Now get your slack, work that off. Take your countershaft sprocket out. Now, just move your chain out of the way if you didn't take it off for cleaning. So here's our old seal. It's damaged, it leaks, or it will leak. So there's a couple ways to get this out. A seal pick. If you don't have a seal pick, you should be able to get by with a good old flat blade screwdriver. What you really want to watch out for when doing this is when you go to put the tool in to engage this and get started, if you stick the tool in too deep and you're prying it out, you'll put a nice big gouge in this soft aluminum, and you can do this with a screwdriver and even more so with a seal pick. So you want to be careful with that. Beyond that, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to worry about tearing this up because it's already ruined, and it pretty much will pop loose. Now, if the older and crustier the bike is, it might be a little more to get it out. So then you freed it, take your old seal out, and get your new seal ready. Now, we have a genuine Honda seal here. If you have another brand or yours didn't come like this, these seals come now with a nice coating of grease in here. So you on any oil seal, you really want to put some clean grease on the lips of the oil seal here. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, you want to make sure your shaft is all nice and clean and you're not going to get dirt down in your engine or damage your new seal. Now, this has pretty sharp edges on the splines there, so you want to be really careful when you put your new seal on that you don't snag those and ruin your brand new seal and then it'll leak again. If you want to be extra cautious, you can take a little bit of electrical tape. See if I can do this without cutting myself here. Take a little electrical tape if you want to be extra careful, and just put a little bit around the shaft. That'll help guide it over, and same thing there, you might want to borrow a little grease from your new oil seal and make that slide over a little better. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get this started, and just let that slide right in there. Get our tape out of the way, get our excess grease off here. Okay, to drive this in, you got a couple choices here. Some of these you can even just push in by hand. The idea is to get it flush with this surface and nice and straight. If it's in crooked, it's gonna leak. So a trick I like to do is take a large washer that'll fit over the shaft and place that on there. And then once again, you could push this by hand. If not, you want a little more power. You don't have to have anything super special. Any metal pipe or it will work. Make sure you wear safety glasses, all that good stuff. And so then you can pretty much push that new seal in. And you check it. It's going. It's a little crooked. It's not all the way in. That's where you could use a little more force, say like a hammer. Let's see how that looks. I think that's pretty good. You always want to make sure that nothing weird happened, the lips didn't get damaged or anything. That looks pretty good. And then you're ready to go back together. That should not leak oil. So, hopefully you found that helpful. And like I said before, We have a full manual with tech support, so if you want to ask questions and sign up for that, we're glad to help.